Blue Ribbon Yearbook, which is essentially, I think the leader in the market of like preseason magazine content for college basketball. Back when we were kids, I feel like there was like an endless supply of college sports magazine content. And as the world has gone more digital, a lot of that stuff has gone away. However, the Blue Ribbon Yearbook has not. Their mainstay every single year, giving college sports fans the preview content that they're looking for at this time of year. Anyways, Blue Ribbon dropped their preseason edition for this year, and it includes team rankings and also preseason All American predictions. As you would expect, a pair of Purdue Boilermakers were prominently featured amongst the Blue Ribbon All American teams. Both Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn earned All American honors from Blue Ribbon. That's quite an accomplishment coming into the year. Going in a little deeper, Braden Smith on the first team per Blue Ribbon, Trey Kaufman-Renn on the second team per Blue Ribbon. Now, let's read through the teams quickly and go get the Blue Ribbon magazine if you want the full edition of this. But JT Toppin, Yaxel Lendeborg, Tahad Pettifor, Braden Smith, and Alex Condon from Florida, your first team All Americans. Trey Kaufman-Renn, Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, Cameron Boozer, and Otega Owe, your second team All Americans. So the Studley freshman trio plus TKR and Kentucky's best player on the second team. Some big names on the first team with big reasons to believe in breakout seasons. Alex Condon on the first team is certainly the surprise here. So, how should Purdue fans take this, Dion? Because I haven't seen any outrage at this, which honestly surprised me a little bit. I kind of think this is actually one of those green light to get outraged moments. People think Alex Condon deserves to be better than Trey Kaufman-Renn on All American teams this year. What do you make of this?
I think TKR second team makes sense. It was who was the second big besides JT Toppin?
Condon. And
It
then
was
Yaxel from Michigan also.
like I can see Yaxel and Toppin on the first team. Condon on the first team over TKR, I think is crazy, but I think I personally would have went DeBansa, Peterson, Boozer, one of those three in that slot. So I don't have any issue with TKR second team. I have an issue with who replaced him on the first team more so than him being on the second team. Sneaky G. If they played a game like this, I think I got second team minus 4.5,
I
dog.
was going to make that stance. Yeah. So I think your point's a good one. Not only should or could Purdue fans be upset that TKR was left off for like an Alex Condon or some of the other players on this list, you absolutely can make the same case if you're a Kansas fan for Peterson, BYU fan for DeBonsa, Kentucky fan for Owe for sure, Duke fan for Boozer. Like this second team, I think, is better than the first team. Now, no disrespect to the obvious, Braden and Toppin. It's like a two-man National Player of the Year race coming into the year. It's Braden, it's Toppin, and then it's a bunch of talented options you want to make arguments for. I think most places consensus will have Yaxel on the first team too, like betting odds wise. Braden Smith, JT Top, and Yaxel Lendeborg are the three favorites. Tahad Pettiford, I like the shout of him on the first team, but there are absolutely arguments that Darren Peterson or Otega Owe are more deserving of being on the first team than Todd Pettiford. So I'm not going to knock that one. I actually like that. Feels like a good out there throw your shot if you're Blue Ribbon. Condon on the first team makes zero sense to me, respectfully. Like, and Condon's very good. Condon had moments in the NCAA tournament run where he was unplayable. Like he had issues in their run to the national championship game. Condon averaged 10-7 last year. And I think it's totally reasonable he could have a breakout year. But like, Dion, these were his games in the NCAA tournament. 5 points and 7 rebounds, 6 points and 4 rebounds, 7 points and 7 rebounds, 1 point and 4 rebounds. Now I'm in the national championship game. That's a first team All American? Like, I would think if you're going to put a Florida guy on the list, it would be Thomas Ha. Like, there are better options on that team. Even go to Boogie Flam before you go to Alex Condon. So I guess I'm just totally confused on what the expectations for Condon are. Blue Ribbon must think there's some big breakout coming if you're going to put him first team and he's going to carry Florida. To me, I would have been surprised to see Condon on second team or even third team All-American over a lot of these other names as you go further down the list. But again, it's not just Purdue that should be upset about that. I think Peterson, DeBonsa, Owe, Boozer all deserve that spot too. The only thing for me is positionally, Condon and TKR is like one for one, right? If you're going to put Toppin as the center, Yaxel Lenneborg as a big wing, and we want one more big on the first team, how do you go against the guy that averaged 20 and 6 last year? He averaged 20 and 6 last year. I just read you Alice Condon numbers. He had 1 and 4 in a Final Four game. Like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah. I mean, Condon averaged 10 and 7, or I mean, you could round up and go 11-8 if you want to. Like it's night and day in my opinion, and that's why I said like, I mean, if we're just choosing the best lineup, I don't think it includes Condon. It includes some form of TKR, Owe, DeBanza, Peterson, Boozer. I, I feel like Condon's on the list because they won the national championship last year, and you feel like you have to include somebody from Florida, and that's okay too. I know I don't have like a huge issue with it. Like I said, I think TKR is in the right spot on the second team. My biggest problem is I legitimately think the second team smokes the first team, unless Braden goes crazy. Like I
I mean, it's,
legit.
it's hard in terms of just win a game. It's hard to bet against like a Braden Toppin duo. Now, Toppin, even some Purdue fans would argue TKR is better than Toppin. Toppin is a better rebounder, better rim protector, just a different animal, I would think. It's why he's considered a front runner for National Player of the Year alongside Braden Smith. But I don't know. It to me, like the second team has five more guys I would put way ahead of Condon, probably five guys I would put ahead of Pettiford on a list like this. So yeah, it's kind of you have like the two best players, Yaxel, we don't know what to do with, and then the two worst players of this group of 10 versus the first three picks in the NBA draft, a guy that averaged 20 and 6. And oh, by the way, Kentucky's SEC Player of the Year front runner, Otega Owe. Kentucky fans should probably be more mad than Purdue fans, honestly. That's
Honestly.
crazy.
I also think like Owe and Darren Peterson see like red the moment they step on the court against this team, and they're like, "Yo, you're gonna give it's to hot." And I love Braden, but Todd Pettiford, Braden Smith guarding those two, like I think those two just see red and just like flash and go crazy, score like 40 points each.
Yeah.
Um, Listen, I get it. They probably don't believe in putting freshmen on the first team, which led to that role. But like you said, I think Owe should be first team. TKR over Condon. Like Kentucky fans have to be upset. Purdue fans should be upset. And then if you're one of the big three freshmen, um, we always wonder what's the motivation for a freshman. I mean, here's a little bit of motivation if you're Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson, or AJ Ponce. Like, not that Cam Boozer needs any, because he's perfectly played the role of like, hey, we're underrated, no one's talking about us. And Darren Peterson, I think, just lives in the motivation world. But if AJ needed any ounce of motivation, hey man, they don't think you're a first team All American. They put you with the other two guys that are competing for a top three pick. You still got something to prove if you want to go number one.
Yeah. Also free Richie Saunders, who I would have also put in my second team All American. Honestly, the scariest thing, maybe my biggest takeaway from this, Purdue fans are being rational about something. Like I haven't seen the crazy we feel slighted by this. And to me that shows growth. And now I'm kind of scared because we've talked about how Painter has dominated this offseason. Have Purdue fans also like settled into a rational view of things? Because now I'm afraid if that's how the Purdue operation, from head coach to players who are doing Navy SEALs training to fans who are just like, oh yeah, TKR second team All American, that feels appropriate. Like now I'm really actually afraid of this entire thing, you know?
I think Paint's like calmed them down and just been like, hey man, just watch how I'm moving. We're good. We're good. We're doing
Yeah.
Navy SEALs training for fun. And meanwhile, I got recruits canceling visits. Like Ralph Scott went to Purdue during the Navy SEALs training.
I think he missed that because he went in the middle of the week and the Navy SEALs training was during the build up to the Purdue football game.
Got you. I thought he went this weekend. I
I
wish
could
he
be
was there for
wrong.
the
Maybe
Navy.
maybe photographs were shared at a different time than when it happened, but yeah, that's my read. Also, if you were a recruit and Navy SEALs training happened, are you going to the place with the Navy SEALs training, or are you going to the place where you play basketball?
No. And honestly, if I'm on Purdue, this is where I would start using the portal and be like, I'm never like The moment Payne's like, yo, we got 5 a.m. wake up, the Navy SEALs are here with us, I'd be like, that's sick, dude. Like, I'm just gonna go down the street to Indiana, I think.
That's for a video for tomorrow, so we'll get more nuanced takes by then. Dion has 24 hours for it. In the meantime, I want to make it abundantly clear. I'm afraid of y'all. I'm afraid of y'all because by now, I think this came out over the weekend, like on Saturday, the Blue Ribbon All American teams. I would have expected at least a 17 tweet thread from Cobra Stats or one of the other awesome, well respected Purdue fan accounts that shows why TKR on a per possession is actually as good of a rebounder as JT Toppin. But there isn't that. So that means you're comfortable with reality, and that makes me afraid because the Purdue I know has like this, like, I don't know, like we're mad at the world mentality. And right now, this Purdue entire ecosystem just feels like we're going to sit back and take this one in. And that's the most dangerous version of the Purdue program I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's scary when they aren't fighting back anymore and they're just like, by the way, like we're just gonna take this personally one day later.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. I think I have to play it super safe and be careful and possibly take down my Big Ten championship banner.
Well, you could still win that while they win a Big Ten championship too.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually extremely true. Craig, Boilers in the Stands, Craig Bauer, shout out to Craig, had this big, he was doing like a Q&A, like just Purdue fans asked me anything, and I sad I missed it. I was asleep. But somebody asked a question that was like, Final Four, regular season Big Ten championship, games against Indiana, like all these little benchmarks of the season. And then one of them was Big Ten tournament and national championship. Which of these does Purdue win this year? And Craig responded was like all of them except the Big Ten tournament. No one cares about that. I care. I'll win that every year. I'll just keep stacking. I'll line this entire wall with Big Ten tournament banners just to annoy people while Purdue wins national championships.
No one's gonna care about the Big Ten tournament until for like the next 4 years, Washington at like 14 and 16 wins it, and somebody starts to get knocked out the tournament because like Washington won the Big Ten tournament because they cared.
Last year it was save the Big Ten. Now it's save the Big Ten tournament. That's what I'm going to do this year.